These are 5 skills that every professional musician needs to master. If you don't know me, my name is Tom Butwin. I am a singer, guitar player. Time management. Whether you are a gigging musician, a studio musician, you're part of a corporate band, whatever the case may be, you have to manage your time properly. This means showing up on time, of course, being early if you can, and then also budgeting your time when you're not on the gig. So if you're rehearsing or learning parts for a session, whatever the case may be, manage your time properly, because we're like everybody else. We like to procrastinate. It's not special. It's not unique to being a musician. It's a human nature thing, but time management, extremely important for a professional musician. Budgeting. This is a big one. Because our income as professional musicians, if you don't have a day job particularly, can fluctuate pretty significantly. You go through some really, really lucrative seasons, and you can go through times when you're not making very much money at all. So budgeting what you spend and how you spend is extremely important. A lot of us get trapped in the tax write-off loop of, hey, I'm gonna buy something really expensive because it's a tax write-off. But if you treat this like a business, yes, you do need things that cost you money, which are inevitably tax write-offs. But if you're just buying a $7,000 guitar because you think it's a sweet tax write-off and it's not gonna help you make money, maybe you need to look at your budgeting skills and decide if that's the right purchase for you, despite the guitar being awesome, I'm sure. Listening skills. Now, this is like in the rehearsal room, on stage, but then also during the hang, as they say. You gotta be able to listen to other people. You gotta be able to listen to the band and react to other musicians appropriately. If you have a musical director that you are being led by, or a band leader, you gotta be able to listen. If you're like a junior member of a band, you gotta listen to the senior members of the band and actually listen, actively listen. So leave your ego at the door and practice your listening skills. Also during the hang, sometimes you talk to people and you know they're not listening to you. It's incredibly irritating. And it's hard to build a camaraderie or a bond with people who you're gonna be working with if you can tell right off the bat that they're just simply not listening to you. Self-awareness. This is something that you need both on stage in the rehearsal room and before and after a gig, or whenever you're hanging out with the people that you're working with. On stage, during a rehearsal, self-awareness can mean something as simple as, hey, don't bring a 100-watt tube amp to a gig that only requires, a little Fender Princeton or a direct modeling type thing that's not gonna blow the roof off the joint. Self-awareness is, if you're a drummer, don't play over the band leader trying to explain a section of a song. Self-awareness goes beyond when you're performing. Maybe it's when you're hanging out in the venue before or after a gig. If it's not your gig and you're a supporting role, be aware of how your actions and maybe what you're doing may reflect on the person that hired you. That's self-awareness. All these things are just kind of, in general, good rules, no matter what type of work you do, but I think they're kind of lost on us musicians sometimes. Social skills. Now this one I might make some people mad with, but 10 out of 10 times, I would hire someone to play with me who's maybe not the best musician. I mean, they have to be good, but they're really great to hang out with and they're very easy to work with, over the person who is a monster player or vocalist who is just awful to be around. You know who I'm talking about. You've experienced this, I'm sure. So your social skills matter. It's a professional environment. I mean, being a musician is fun, and I think sometimes that's why all these skills get looked over. But something like social skills and being pleasant to work with is extremely important for your professional success when it comes to being a musician. So what I miss, what's another skill that a professional musician needs?